has informed all of us that the public debt, the tax revenue, as at 30th September 2021 is 37.1 billion. This simply means that almost every quarter in the last 3 quarters, on average per quarter, we raise about 12.3 billion Ghana cedis per quarter in tax revenue. The government is telling us that between October to December, they are going to raise additional 18 billion Ghana cedis in tax revenue. So, Speaker, this is most unrealistic and not almost impossible. So, Speaker, I say it's unrealistic for a simple reason. The simple reason is that, on average, every quarter you raise 12 billion. You are saying you are going to raise 50% more than what you've raised in the quarter. I'm very much aware that there are seasonalities in the end, as at end of year, and certainly revenue performs better. But, Mr. Speaker, evidence before us suggests that almost every quarter, end year, the last quarter, revenue increased by about 20%. How come you are projecting that revenue is going to increase by 50%? Mr. Speaker, I beg to say that as a result of over-projections of revenue in the last quarter of 2021, our public debt situation will deteriorate. In fact, your fiscal deficit as projected at 12.1 will end up to become 13%. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I project that we'll end the year 2021 with a public debt of 355 billion Ghana cedis, representing 81% of our GDP. So, Speaker, the highest since HIPC. The highest since HIPC. So, Speaker, going into the projection into the year 2020, I see a lot of inconsistencies, unacceptable estimations, Mr. Speaker, a budget that is not credible. But, Mr. Speaker, if you decide to take care of yourself at home, you have to first of all be credible. You have to first of all signal to your children, those that have interest in your economy, that you are taking the bitter pill to solve your problem. I'm sad to say that this government has created a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of budget credibility for the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I tell you, for a simple reason, page 229, page 229. Mr. Speaker, page 229. No, Mr. Speaker, page 233, Appendix 3B. You will notice that the tax revenue for the year 2021, this government has said to us that the tax revenue is going to be 80 billion. Granted that they are able to achieve the 55 billion, even though I have my serious doubt about it. So, Speaker, 80 billion. This means that within 1 year, you are projecting to increase the tax revenue by 45% over the old. 45%. So, Speaker, this is the first time I've seen a budget statement that is projecting a tax revenue more than 45% over the base. 45%. In fact, since I became a Ghanaian, I've never seen anything like this. 45%. In nominal terms, this government is seeking to raise 25 billion Ghana cedis additional tax revenue. But so I was curious, and I wanted to be sure for me to be able to find out where this tax revenue is coming from. So, Speaker, I've done some numbers, and I will give you some information. This budget introduced about 3 major measures, tax policies, measures. So, Speaker, 1, they are saying they are going to raise 7 billion, in fact 6.9, I'm generous, so I'm making it 7 billion, from electronic transaction tax, 7 billion. Again, they are saying they are going to introduce what we call the benchmark values. So, Speaker, according to DRA, they are going to raise 700 million. But let me be generous and give them 1 billion. So, Speaker, again, as generous as I am, I'm a Father Christmas. I'm going to assume that you are going to have growth of about 7%. So, Speaker, all this put together will give you 12.5 billion. So, Speaker, let's assume that they've announced compliance measures. We all know that compliance is not costed in any budget. But let me cost it for them and give them about 2.5 billion Ghana cedis. So, Speaker, I'm sorry to say that the estimations in the budget statement, what is before us, our tax revenue has been over-projected by 10 billion Ghana cedis, representing 2% of our GDP. 2% of our GDP. Hey. Where is your credibility, Honorable Minister? Honorable members, where is the credibility of this government? Where is the credibility of this government? This budget is the most inconsistent, wrongly estimated budget I've ever seen since I became Ghanaian. In fact, since Kwame Nkrumah went to Guinea. Mr. Speaker, I am sad. I'm sad for a simple reason that this government is actually increasing the sickness of this country. Currently, our sickness, we are sick from sardosis. Today, as a result of your wrong projection, if care is not taken, Ghana is going to be sick with sardosis too. And that will mean that we are going to move from intensive care unit to high intensive care unit in the emergency room. The situation is appalling and it should not be accepted. So, Speaker, now permit me to evaluate the infamous electronic transaction tax. The infamous electronic transaction tax, the Speaker, what economists do is to first of all evaluate the economic inefficiencies of every tax policies for us to find out whether the tax that you are imposing is going to create deadweight cost or it's not going to be efficient. So, Speaker, I beg to announce that this three-legged tax called the electronic transaction tax is not going to help us as a country. So, Speaker, I say it's three-legged. Three-legged because this tax has three legs. The first leg is that they are going to tax what we call remittance. The second leg is for them to tax bank transfers, electronic bank transfers. And then finally, Mr. Speaker, they are going to tax mobile money transactions and merchant transactions. Mr. Speaker, so you see why I call it a three-legged tax. Mr. Speaker, first let me deal with the issue of remittance. I have with me the external sector development cumulative number from the Bank of Ghana. In fact, this was just published when they recently held the MPC report. The MPC meeting, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. So, Speaker, the evidence before us is that remittances represent 2.5% of our GDP. In dollar terms, 3.6 billion Ghana cedis in remittances. So, Speaker, we all know what remittances does to all of us, our economy. In fact, the central bank rely on it to show our currency. Remittances is what actually sustains the Ghanaian economy. So, Speaker, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora sends money in. 1 minute. Sends money in. But to surprise you to know that this government seeks to tax remittance. So, Speaker, my worry is that if care is not taken, the money that goes through the normal banking sector, to the extent that it supports our banks, is not going to come. So, Speaker, again, the mobile money tax is the most regressive tax I've ever witnessed in my life. Regressive in the sense that it's not going to support the ordinary Ghanaian. So, Speaker, I know. For the record, I'm 43 years. So, Speaker, let everyone be aware that the regressive tax is not going to help us. So, Speaker, I'm concluding.
Oh, no, you have 20 minutes. Sorry, 20 minutes. You have 5 minutes more.
So, Speaker, I still have 5 minutes. Go on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me additional 5 minutes, because that is what I deserve. Mr. Speaker, as I said, the remittances is not taxable and should not be taxable, because remittances is not only our brothers and sisters coming from diaspora that is remitting money into the economy. In fact, investors remit money to grow their businesses. So what you are seeking to do, you are preventing Ghana from receiving foreign direct investment. This is most economic inefficient tax policy I have seen. Mr. Speaker, bank transfers. I am not aware of any country in this world that taxes the amount you are transferring. So now you are telling me that if I decide to pay my children's school fees through the banking system online, you are telling me that you are going to tax that amount that I'm sending. Most insensitive and unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, mobile money transactions. Mr. Speaker, I am aware that most traders, ordinary Ghanaians, they keep mobile money wallet as their savings account. They keep mobile money wallet as their savings account. An attempt to tax mobile money transaction will mean you are taxing savings instead of encouraging savings. Mr. Speaker, I beg to say that this policy is not acceptable. This policy is not acceptable because it is going to bring about inefficiencies in the Ghanaian economy. So, Speaker, above all, and to conclude, we were told that this budget is going to introduce what we call benchmark values, to the extent that the government is going to impose the full benchmark values as the basis of assessing import duties. Mr. Speaker, Guta importers are now speaking. What they have informed all of us and have asked us as the people's representative, in fact, what they have told us is that prices of goods that are imported is going to go up by 25%. At the minimum, in some cases, 30%, going into the Christmas. So prices of sugar is going to go up by 25%. Prices of rice is going to go up by 25%. Prices of oil is going to go up by 25%. Mr. Speaker, inflation will only go up. Inflation will only go up. In fact, you are going to increase hardships in the economy. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the ordinary Ghanaian is struggling. Mr. Speaker, if you go out there, the popular word is Ukromaishi. The popular word out there is Ukromaishi. Mr. Speaker, this morning my constituent said to me that I should tell you, Mr. Speaker, that Ukromaishi, to which times are hard. Yes. So I would have thought that government would take decisions to ensure that this major thing comes down. Mr. Speaker, this budget means no Christmas for Ghanaians. Yeah. This budget means that this Christmas is going to bring about pain, suffering to the ordinary Ghanaian. Mr. Speaker, I see that is not enough. They have said to us that they are going to introduce some special taxes. In fact, fees and charges is going to go up by 15%. Mr. Speaker, I brought with me the list of fees and charges. Mr. Speaker, we have 20,000 fees, including mortuary fees, including OPD fees, going up by 25%. Mr. Speaker, what is happening? Are you killing us? There is a limit in which this economy can survive on taxes. So I urge my colleagues, be sensitive to the plight of the ordinary people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I conclude by saying that the Ghanaian economy is sick. In fact, it's sick from sardosis. As a result, we are in an intensive care unit. Please hurry up and seek help. If we fail to seek help, we will end up in the high intensive care unit. High intensive care unit. Ghana is sick from stagflation, coupled with acute debt overhang syndrome. That is what it is. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members.